Hey class, what's going on? It's Mr. Bristow. We're going to learn about the circumference of a circle today. We're going to be really focused on circles for the next few weeks, okay? Everybody knows what a circle looks like. You know, sometimes it's hard to draw with your hand, but there's your little circle. And what you need to know about this word, this weird word called circumference. Circumference measures the distance around a circle. Remember when you did like the distance around like a rectangle? Remember that was called perimeter when you were in elementary school. Remember learning about perimeter where you just added all the sides? Well, with circles, there's no sides, right? So how are you going to add up all the sides when there's no sides? Well, you do that by finding the circumference, the distance around it, not this stuff, but how long this is right here, this whole line. How long is that line that connects and makes a circle? Okay? How long is it around the circle? That is what circumference is. All right? So, before we get into it, we have to talk about different ways you can measure a circle. The first thing we got to know is a word called the diameter. The diameter. Now, the diameter of a circle is simply how long the circle is. How long is it from one end to the other, like that? Or you could measure it from the top, like from here all the way to here. How long are these lines? They're going to be the same, okay? So the diameter measures all the way across. So let's say that from here all the way to here, or from here all the way to here, let's pretend that it's 20 inches. Let's pretend that it's 20 inches. I'm just pretending, right? That's really less than 20 inches, but we're just pretending. So that means from this end to this end is 20 inches, okay? You just remember that. Diameter goes all the way across. Now the other word you have to know is called the radius. These are really the only two kind of like vocabulary words you got to know. Now the radius also measures, but it only starts from the center to the end. From the center to the end. And so if it starts from the center right here to the end and not, remember when we did diameter it started from here all the way to here, but radius only starts from the center. So the radius is only halfway across, isn't it? Isn't this right here what I'm drawing only halfway across the whole thing? It's only halfway. So in this problem, if the diameter is 20, the radius is automatically 10. Okay, radius is halfway, diameter is the whole way. So what if we did another circle? What if we drew this circle and I wanted you to tell me the diameter and the radius? Okay. Well, let's say we measured from the center right here and you measured to here. And you measured it at, let's say, 8 inches. Remember, from the center to the edge is called the radius. So if this is 8, since it's only halfway, it's not the whole way, the radius is 8, we'll call it inches. Why not? And do you automatically know if halfway is 8, what's the rest of it got to be? If halfway is 8, that means the other half is 8. What's 8 plus 8? 16. You notice that the diameter over here is 2 times the radius, right? If radius is 8, what's 8 times 2? 16, that's the diameter. If the radius is 10, that's half of what? 20. All right, let's do one more quick. What if I told you all the way across was 30? All right, That means the diameter, which means all the way across, is 30. And the radius, what would the radius be? Pause it if you want to think about it. Okay, the radius would be 15 because radius is halfway. All right? Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Pause this if you need to study this page for a little bit. All right, let's do another page. Okay. Now we're going to actually find the circumference. Remember, the circumference is how much is it around the whole circle. Well, you have to use a formula to figure it out. It's almost like a recipe when you're cooking food, but this recipe is going to show us how to solve this problem. The circumference of a circle, here's your formula. Ready? C, circumference, equals pi times the diameter. C equals pi times diameter. Now, I bet a lot of you are going, what is this thing? It looks like a T with two. This symbol is called pi. There's no E in it, like the food pie. All right, and it's a ratio. We'll talk about what pi means later. But the main thing you want to know about pi is its number value is always 3 decimal 14. You'll know this for the rest of your life after I get done teaching you, okay? It's 314. 3 decimal 14. That's the value of pi. Okay, so you have circumference. You have pi, which is 3.14. And what do you think D stands for? We just learned it. D is the diameter, okay? So, let's do this problem, a simple problem. We have a circle, and let's say that the diameter is 20. All right, so if we look at this problem, doesn't this line go all the way across? Yeah. So we're going to say D equals 20. Now, if we know the diameter, we can solve the circumference. We can figure out how long this big line that forms a circle is. Doesn't it look, if you took this big circle line and stretched it out, you unrolled it and stretched it out, don't you think it would be longer than this? It's going to be longer, okay? Let's see how long this line is that forms a circle. All right, so we're going to go to our formula. C, circumference, equals pi. What did I just tell you pi is always worth? Always. 3.14. And we're going to multiply when they're smushed together like that. It wants you to multiply them. Multiply by D. And what was D in this case? It was 20. So the circumference is 3.14 times 20. 3.14 times 20 equals 62.8. Okay, so all you have to do to find the circumference is know the diameter. If you know the diameter, you just times it by 3.14, like I did right here, and you're done. It's that easy. Now let's do one more where we don't know the diameter. Let's say that it gives you the radius. Let's just say R equals 6. Remember, the R stands for radius, and radius is only halfway across, okay? So, we want to know circumference, don't we? But look, circumference uses D, not R. We need to know the diameter. But if we know the radius is 6, we automatically know what the diameter is. Remember, the radius just goes halfway. So if this is 6, wouldn't this line be another 6? Right? It's only 6 is half of what? 12, right? So if R is 6, the diameter is 12. And if we know the diameter, we can do the circumference, right? Because we know that circumference is C equals pi times diameter. So we're going to take the circumference equals 3.14, which is pi, always, times the diameter, which is at 6. We figured out it was 12. And 3.14 times 12 equals 37.68. So that's the answer to that one, okay? That's about it. I'll tell you one thing an old teacher taught me back in the day. To remember this formula, C equals pi d, it's kind of silly. Chocolate pie is delicious. I don't know, it's kind of silly, but you know that circumference equals pi d. You can always remember chocolate pie is delicious. All right, so try this. Try to do the assignment I'm going to give you that goes along with this video. Okay, bye. Have a great day. All that good stuff.